Hey everybody, welcome back to Destiny 2. I know it's been a while since I made a video. I've been working on Lightfall stuff, obviously. This is my last character for the campaign to do, because I just wanted to unlock Strand and everything on all my characters.
My vision was through.
Shut up, Osiris. So I kind of wanted to give my thoughts early in the season, in the DLC. Or the expansion, I guess. I haven't really done anything relating to the season yet, besides like the intro mission. So I'm not going to be speaking much on that. I just want to kind of talk about my thoughts on Lightfall, and kind of all that stuff. And it's not going to be necessarily kind, unfortunately. I was really excited for this expansion. I was really hoping that this was going to be an absolute banger of an expansion. And unfortunately, so far at least, early days, not really looking like that, which kind of blows. Obviously there'll be spoilers for the story here. I'm going to be talking about kind of all that, and then just my thoughts on Strand and all that jazz. I'm actually going to start with the Strand stuff. Obviously it's early days, we don't have access to all the fragments, and all that. So it could obviously get much better, but it's kind of okay. I know Woven Mail is really good, giving, I think it's like a 60% damage reduction, which is absolutely wild. So that's pretty good, and Suspend is like a better version of Freeze, basically. So in terms of those two things, it's pretty decent, but like, I don't know, it's obviously, I can't speak on everything, because it could just, like, there could be some busted builds, right? Like, Stasis is really good for ad clear, and it's not like meta, but it's decent, so it's obviously early days for Strand, so we'll see, how we're feeling about that, later in the year. When we have everything, obviously. I don't know why I did that. Yes, I'm doing this live for some stupid reason. But yeah, so it's pretty fun. I haven't obviously done too much on the Warlock. But what I did with that, like the brief little thing you do in the first mission, it seems pretty fun on Warlock. A lot of ad clear with the Threadlings. Titan can get pretty decent damage resist, and it's okay, I guess. I don't like the super that much, and the melee's kind of dookie. Same with the Hunter melee. Like, they went for like weird melees that do like no damage for some reason, so I don't know. I liked the what's it called, the grappling hook. I think that's fun. I think the cooldown on a lot of the stuff needs to go way down. Like, obviously it's really fast in the campaign. Why am I fighting these things? It's really fast in the campaign, but once you actually unlock Strand, it's really slow, and like, I don't think the grappling hook needs to be like I think like at base it's like a 1 minute 50-second cooldown, which is crazy, and that's obviously at 0 discipline, so obviously they'll be up, but still, it's like, what? I definitely think that should be like a really short cooldown, or like have no cooldown unless you do the melee finisher on someone, or the melee grenade, the grapple melee, or whatever the hell it's called. I think that would be an interesting change they could make, so you could just grapple around. I know that would be kind of broken, but I don't know. Just give something fun to the subclasses. Hunter is the one I've had the most fun on so far out of the Titan and the, Titan and the Hunter. Obviously, like I said, Warlock I haven't really done anything on yet in terms of that, because I'm getting through the campaign now, and by getting through the campaign, I mean getting distracted by killing enemies that are just gonna crush me. But yeah, so in terms of Strand, not much to say yet, but early impressions is it's kind of okay and just more fun than anything. It's definitely flashy, I would say. Now we're going to move on to, I forgot to mention this, but mods and like the new UI and everything like that. It's simplified, and obviously, once again, like I've been saying, early days. But so far, it's different, and I think I just need to get used to it. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I like the change that there aren't any elements to the armor anymore, but I don't know how I feel about this armor charge nonsense. I kind of liked what we had before with the elemental element wells and the or war mine cells if you really did that. But I kind of liked the well type thing. So I don't know. I don't have much to say on that besides that it's simplified, and I don't know how I feel about it being simplified. I mean, obviously it needs to be somewhat simplified for people, right? But like I also want depth to it, and it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of that to it anymore. Which kind of is a bummer, but we'll see obviously as more things come out. Okay, and then now we're gonna talk about the big one, which is the story, which a lot of people aren't happy about, for I say good reason. So there's a bit, I don't know if it's like confirmed, but it's been leaked that Lightfall and what's the other one called, Final Shape, were supposed to be like one expansion. And you can, if that's true, you can really notice it, because this campaign really just kind of rushes through it and doesn't really explain anything, or like it focuses so much on Strand, which is kind of cool, I guess, but like I don't think that should be like a main story, or a big expansion campaign story, right? That's definitely feels more like a seasonal thing, or maybe like a mini, like an after campaign type thing, focus on the Witness and Callus and all that stuff in the main campaign, and then afterwards when you unlock Strand, have like a mini campaign for that, right, type thing. I think that would have been kind of interesting to do, but they kind of made Strand a big thing, and it takes away from like the main conflict, which is Callus and the Witness going after the Veil, which they don't explain at all. We still don't know what that is at all. Like they build up this big thing that it's like this mystery, and these people know about it, right? And you assume they're gonna tell you about it, but we still don't know what it is. The Witness just shows up and uses it for going into the Traveler or whatever the hell he did, and then isn't explained and just fucks off until obviously presumably Final Shape, which is just like, what? Nothing was explained at all, and the campaign spent so much time spent so much time on Strand and not explaining things that were important to what's going on, to this giant cataclysmic event of the Traveler getting mollywopped or whatever is going on. So it's really interesting. I don't even know how to explain it. It's frustrating, because it's been like banger after banger in terms of like story and stuff, and this one flops so hard because it's just like, what is happening? Like, we're just running through doing random shit for some MacGuffin, and it's just like, okay. So it's really kind of, I don't know, I'm rambling, but it's just like, it's really sucky because the story's been so good, and I've been like, that's what I was most excited for this expansion. I'm like, okay, this is like, this is 10 years in the making, right? It's about to pop off, and then there's gonna be like Final Shape is gonna come, and it's gonna be like this end game event type thing, which I hate that. It's like, oh, it's the Infinity War end game thing for Destiny. I hate that, but like it's it's true, right? We're supposed to get our asses kicked in this, but like it doesn't even feel like that, right? Like, once again, at the end of the campaign, we defeat Callus or whatever, and then like we get a cutscene of like, oh, we won. Oh wait, our ghost is doing something stupid because he's connected to the Witness, which is once again not explained at all either how that happens. Right, like it shows up twice. Like there was like kind of a teaser for that end bit where you can see the Witness talking to Callus through the ghost or whatever. It's like, oh, they're connected somehow, right? I wonder if that will be explained. But it's really just a teaser for that little bit there, where the ghost gets controlled or whatever, and he takes control of the Veil or whatever happens, So I don't even know how to explain it because I don't know what's going on, right? Like how are you supposed to get through that, right? So that kind of happens, and it would have been kind of cool to see our Guardian kill our ghost, which would have been super fucking interesting, but that doesn't happen. That's just more of a funny haha for me, but no, so yeah, that happens, and it doesn't even feel like oh no, like that's supposed to be like, oh shit, we like lost, but like once again, like it doesn't even feel like the travel. I mean, the traveler's still there. Everyone's talking about like it's gone, right? It's just sitting there. It just has like a weird glowy thing in the middle of it. Like what? So it's kind of interesting to. I mean I don't even know what happens, right? Like everywhere I say, I'm like, no one understands what's going on. Right, and not in a good way where it's like, oh god, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? It's like nothing was explained. Right, like why is this happening? There's no conclusion or like way for this to continue in a way that's like, oh, that makes sense. Right? It's like, okay, that's what happened. It's just kind of like, the witness comes, he does his big whatever, and then, fucks off. And it's just like, oh, okay. So yeah, that's super interesting to me. And this, on a further note, like obviously the story's all over the place. And on a further note, this is supposed to be like grim, right? Like, I think at the start of the campaign, it's like okay, we got this, easy, right? And then like we're like, oh shit, we can't do this, right? And that's when it's supposed to get grim, but it's just like the entire way through it's just like this fun, like, oh yeah, we're just casually going through this new planet, like la la la, just business as usual type thing, and everyone's cracking jokes and shit. And it's just like, what? This is supposed to be like the end times type beat, right? So it's frustrating in terms of that, because the tone is just not in the right spot for what I think this should be, right? Where it's like, we're losing, we're gonna lose, right? Instead it's like, oh, funny, haha, right? And it's just one-liners and crap like that, and that's just, oh, like I hate that in general, but especially when it's supposed to be like really like grim. Right, this is the one expansion. This and I guess Final Shape where it's supposed to be like, oh, shit's going down. Let's buckle in. But it's just kind of goofy, haha. And it's just like I don't know. All the characters like the two new characters and Osiris are just annoying the shit out of me the entire time I'm playing. Right. Like, and yeah, like right here, like the ghost is like, I'm drained, I feel drained or whatever, and like obviously it's due to these or whatever, but then you find out later it's also because of the veil or whatever, and it's just like, why is that happening? All he says is like, oh, it kind of reminds me of the Traveler, and it's like, what? Explain that. It's so silly. But yeah, that's really all I have to say on it. It's just kind of a disappointment, unfortunately, in terms of like the narrative, and I've been really invested in the narrative because like it got like. I mean, it's had some, like, poopy moments, but still kind of interesting sometimes. Like, even this season with, like, all the Nezarec stuff is, like, oh shit, right? Like, if Nezarec's, like, the boss, like, for the raid, that'd be, like, baller. But, like, or, like, and there's been a few seasons, like, Season of the Plunder was kind of poopy, in my opinion. But, like, last season was really good. Witch Queen was obviously crazy. They've just been like knocking it out of the park in terms of story for so long, and this was really not the time to have like a really shit story, because this is the big, like, everyone's coming back to play, right? It's like, okay, this is what they've been working towards for 10 years. Let's check out the new game. You saw all those big streamers playing the game, or saying they're gonna play the game and stuff, and it's like, oh, that's wonderful, that's so many new players, right? And obviously there was an influx of players, and there probably still is tons of players, whatever, but like anyone who's like slightly interested in the story are gonna be like, okay, well, this is bad, I'm not gonna play this. And if this was supposed to be our giant moment, right, like what does that say for the rest of the game? If our what's supposed to be like huge and crazy good or whatever isn't, like, what does that say for the rest of the game, right? So it's just kind of disappointing. But yeah, that's really all I have to say on the matter. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will have content obviously for the game. I still like the game, and like gameplay and whatnot is really good, and I hope the story improves. But yeah, that's really all I have to say on it. I'm gonna have some build videos coming out, not just for Strand. I've been having a lot of fun with this build here, and especially on my my Hunter. The Trip Mine build is so good now. So I'll have some build videos for that and Strand in the coming days. So I hope you guys stick forward to that. A lot more positivity as well, because I do like that aspect, even though I don't like the simplification of the mod stuff, but that's okay. It's still pretty strong and fun to play. So yeah, hope you enjoyed my rambling about the story and whatnot, and I will see you in the next video. I was really hoping to kill that guy at the same time. Whatever. Bye bye.